Your first impression is the most important part of a job application, and it starts with your resume. As the owner of a digital marketing agency, I receive hundreds of resumes, but to my surprise, many applicants don't take their resumes seriously. In this video, I will reveal the secrets of what I look for in a resume and what your future employer will look for as well. The best candidate for a digital marketing agency is someone who is agile, someone who can learn and shows that they have a track record of learning. Because when you come into a digital marketing agency, your schooling really doesn't matter. Sometimes having a degree can make your writing sound like an academic, and that can negatively affect your performance when you start in a digital marketing agency. Because when you have to do essays that have 1,000 or 2,000 word minimum, you write differently. In digital marketing, the most powerful writing is concise. The best headlines are always less than 7 words, and preferably 3. When someone comes in very proud of their degree, it's awesome that you've accomplished the degree, but it may not help as much as you think when it comes specifically to digital marketing. So the best candidate for a digital marketing agency is someone who loves learning. Someone who maybe has a business mind and can put themselves in the shoes of the business owners that we're helping, or the clients that are going to be seeing the ads, social media posts, videos, and the websites. You have to be able to put yourself in the shoes of a lot of different people. For me to consider a resume, it does depend on the position, but the first step is to make sure there are no typos. If you have a spelling mistake, grammatical errors, or the design of the resume sucks, we can't hire you. I don't care what's on your resume. If you don't have that attention to detail, that tells me as the business owner that you're not going to have the attention to detail that we need, and our clients are going to see that and fire us. I don't want that. So attention to detail, both the design, spelling, and grammar, is the most important thing. It comes down to 3 things. 1, do I see that you can learn? 2, can you write? And 3, are you looking to build a long-term career? Specifically, something I look for is someone that wants to build within the company. When I find those people, I am very loyal, and I will invest a lot into training and developing and really take them along for the ride as our business continues to grow. And with that mindset, I want to find people that want to be a part of the team and a part of that growth trajectory. And as a business, our job is to take people along for the ride. We work in a super close-knit team, and I value seeing what someone does for fun. For instance, on my resumes, I've always put down that I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts, and attend a lot of concerts. When I see stuff about a person, it tells me that that person is relatable and not going to be difficult to work with on a personal basis. We have a core team, and liking each other matters because when people like each other, they don't want to let their friends down. They don't want to let the business down because everyone there is working as a unit. So knowing what someone's into personally just gives a bit more character and a bit more spice to the conversation. I also like to see how someone lights up when they talk about something that they're passionate about. So if someone writes down on their resume that they run marathons, I want to see what happens in their eyes when they talk about marathons, because that's something that I want on the team. That intensity and the passion is something that I want to bring out of them in business and marketing. So I like to be able to see that before they come into the interview, and I will bring up their passions in the interview process. I also definitely look at where people have worked before. Digital marketing is similar to being a tattoo artist, and I've used this reference before on the channel in other videos. No one wants to be someone's first tattoo. It's potentially risky. Obviously, you'd have that tattoo on your body for the rest of your life. In digital marketing, no one wants to entrust $50,000 or $100,000 to someone who has never worked in digital marketing before. Therefore, I value relevant work history. Although historically, we haven't hired a lot of people with, say, extensive digital marketing agency work history, because digital marketing agencies are relatively new in the grand scheme of all the businesses that exist. Some of the positions that we hire from are like marketing managers for a single business. These individuals, they're often looking for more excitement and diversity in their work by wanting to work with a broad variety of clients. We do hire people with relevant work history, but more importantly, we look for people who are passionate and eager to learn. We understand that we need to train them to meet our standards, so we don't put them on client work for a minimum of 3 months. We've hired a lot of people who either have a degree or don't. Often, people will have a diploma or a degree, and we found some really great people who have those. We've also had to let go people in the past. And interestingly, I reflected, the people that we've had to let go have all had degrees, and I'm not quite sure why that is. Sometimes I think that after 16 years of schooling, kindergarten all the way through grade 12, followed by another 4 or 5 years at university, some people might feel a bit more entitled, and consequently, they come in demanding higher pay despite lacking relevant work experience, and I'd rather pay someone who comes in with work experience. So they sometimes come in asking for more money, and secondly, they tend to work less and with less intensity. There are exceptions to this, and those are the ones that we definitely retain. However, they often come in so accustomed to receiving a framework, a rubric, assignment guidelines, that they haven't developed the muscle to be self-starters, self-motivated, to identify work and projects within the business that haven't been explicitly assigned to them. It's the system. The education system has conditioned them for 16 years or more to expect that assignments will be given by a teacher. In a small, growing business, there might not be a manager who has the time to provide a steady stream of assignments. So you have to take the initiative and create your own projects that will either benefit the client or grow the business. In my experience at our 7-figure agency, people who either didn't complete all of university or didn't attend at all are often better initially at creating work for themselves. And I'm unsure if this stems from necessity. If I want to succeed in the world without a degree, I must work hard and demonstrate that I can provide value. On the other hand, people who have pursued extensive education, like many students with master's degrees who apply, sometimes they have the worst resumes. They often feel very entitled, expecting to get the job without putting in the necessary effort on their resumes. So I do consider a candidate's work history and education. The skills that I love to see, number 1, is English, writing, communication. Everything in a business is communication. You have to talk on the phone, you have to talk with your teammates, you have to write emails, you have to write project briefs, you have to write scripts, ads, social media posts. Everything that we do is writing. So at the core, writing is the thing that I need to see front and center. There are position-specific skills that I obviously would need to see for a videography role. I need to know how good you are at video, at which point I would also definitely want to see a portfolio. Same thing with graphic design. I may want to see what tools someone uses, what applications. Are you using Illustrator? Have you used Canva for lower intensity things? Do you use Figma? Knowing that someone edits on Premiere or DaVinci Resolve, whatever tools someone uses, that's interesting to me to see on a resume. Another skill that I'd want to see on your resume when you're coming from any business is like what tech stack you're used to. We use a project management system. So if someone has experience in the project management system that we use, which is Monday, that is useful for me to know because that's one less thing that we have to train them on. The skills section is also a great place to have soft skills for cross-division skill sets. If you are a project manager, but you happen to have a bit of experience in Canva or Photoshop, that's useful for us to know because there are always times in a business when in a pinch, you may need to speak either the language of that tool directly to the client or the specialist is not there and you can just go in and change that one little thing. The skills section is an excellent place to showcase what you can contribute to the business beyond your direct job description. However, many people list completely irrelevant skills in this section. Skills such as singing or playing the guitar, unless relevant to the job, should go in the hobbies or interest section. It's important to have them because they are a little bit of extra spice to make you stand out on your resume, but they don't belong in the skills section. At the top of any resume, I prefer to see the candidate's career objective. This is essentially the summary section. I want to understand why you envision yourself at our business and the career trajectory that you see for yourself. If you aspire to shift from being an assistant to a salesperson, which at our business we call a growth consultant, within 1, 2, or 3 years, That's also useful for us to know because it helps me plan ahead even before you're hired. It can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Coming in with a clear career objective helps us, and it also helps you because it enables us to consider what we can do to help you succeed in the role that you want. However, what I dislike seeing in resumes are lies about the position that the candidates are applying for. We've had people apply for the graphic design role and everything looks great. They get hired, had a great portfolio, but then it turns out that the portfolio wasn't theirs and they're not even good at graphic design and they hate it. Then they say, oh, I wish I was a project manager. But hey, we've gone through all of these steps to get you hired in a role that you said that you wanted. Then it turns out that you were just trying to trick us into hiring you. For instance, we once hired a person for a job role at a pretty good salary, which was definitely not minimum wage. And within a week, they asked me for a raise. I thought to myself, this person didn't want the position they got and they weren't satisfied with the salary that they agreed to. That was a huge waste of time and we just had to let that person go. Let's discuss cover letters. They are very important to me. They show me that you want the job. I'll tell you something I don't look for. I don't look for generic artificial intelligence written cover letters. Nowadays, many people just input the job description and say, write a cover letter for this. It's incredibly obvious when this happens, and it's so painful that I look at those resumes and cover letters for literally 5 seconds before throwing them out. I'm not against AI. In fact, that's a skill I want to see on your resume or to come out during your interview process. And we even conduct some AI testing on you to see how you design your prompts. I think you can tell a lot about someone's skill with AI by how they write prompts for specific problems. A cover letter is a great place to show that you are persuasive. Marketing, in essence, is persuasion in a different form. As a core strong marketing team, I want someone who is persuasive and can tell a story. The cover letter is a space for you to tell your story and what the next step in that story is, which would be getting hired at our business. I value so much a well-written cover letter. It's not so much about how it's designed, but about showing that you want the job. A cover letter is a great place for you to articulate the value that you can bring to the business. Avoid using buzzwords. I detest them. In marketing, buzzwords are pointless. Everyone hates them. If you see an ad that says, X company is a beacon of light looking to transformatively uproot and distill factual information, it's nonsense. No one wants it. Express what you want in simple terms, in a way that would be presented in a marketing campaign, because that's what I'm hiring you to do. The best way to determine if someone is merely job hunting is to check if their resume and cover letter has been customized for the position. If they aren't, or if there's very little customization, then it might not be a good fit. We're not a mega corporation like Walmart or Costco. We don't hire thousands of people each year. We hire a select few that we genuinely believe in, and for us to want to work with these new hires, they need to demonstrate that they believe in us too. They have to genuinely want to work with us. An amusing thing that often occurs is that we're frequently addressed by the wrong business name. The number of times that someone on their resume says they want to work at Longhouse Media is absurd. It's happened at least 12 times. I'm not sure if that's due to autocorrect, but Longhouse is a legitimate word, so it shouldn't be autocorrected. The business wants to feel special, like they're someone's first choice. They don't want to be the backup option. When you're applying to a digital marketing agency, make them feel like they're the only one in the world, like that Rihanna song. It's not fully unusual for us to hire someone without going through the traditional resume, cover letter process, especially early on. When Magda, our photographer, came on board, I originally had met her when I was lifeguarding. She never even had to put in a resume because I was a lifeguard. I was teaching swimming lessons at the community pool, and I taught her daughters swimming lessons from age 6 to 15. And I always saw Magda there photographing the lifeguards and her daughters and the special events. One time, the photographer that was on our team was a contractor and canceled on a shoot at the last minute. And I said, oh, crap, I gotta go to this thing. Who's a photographer I know? And obviously Magda was able to answer the call, and she's been photographing for us ever since. And before we talk about formatting your resume, subscribe to the channel, leave your questions in the comment section below. Let's get back to it. The presentation of your resume is important. I would advise you to submit your resume as a PDF, This makes sure that no matter what device someone's on, it's easy for them to open, and it maintains the formatting that you designed. When it opens on a Word document, one, it highlights all your typos and grammatical errors, but also it looks a bit sloppier. Aesthetics matter, particularly if you're applying for a design-related role. There's no position for which a well-designed resume would be detrimental to you. Conversely, for certain roles like sales, I wouldn't necessarily expect a stunningly designed resume. However, if it is well designed, it does instill some confidence to me as a business owner that your sales proposals might also be nicely designed. A well-designed resume and cover letter can never hurt you. Take the extra 30 minutes and make it look awesome. There are certain rules for creating resumes in different countries, societies, and cultures. For example, in Canada, it is often recommended not to include a photo on your resume, and it's likely due to hiring laws that prohibit discrimination based on someone's age, race, or gender. In some companies, their HR department might have a rule against including photos to avoid any subconscious bias. We conduct a background check. I or someone else from my team will look up applicants on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram before their interview to see if there are any glaring red flags. Sometimes I also check court records to see if they've ever been sued before, especially if there's a serious job offer on the table. And I've found things before that are glaring red flags. Clean up your online presence. If someone is from a different country and they plan to move to Canada, that's an engaging story. For example, if the person is from Europe, I would need to see their English skills. There are certain roles where English is not as crucial, but communication is always a key factor. If someone is building a life in Canada, I find that interesting. That's a compelling narrative. I know people who come to Canada are looking to work hard and be a part of something. We do get a lot of applicants from all around the world, and our team is very open and welcoming to new friends. It's enjoyable to work and hang out with people on the team, and I'd hire someone, especially if they have relevant work experience. Doesn't matter where they come from. What I don't like is when people specifically ask for a remote role. We don't really like that. We think that there's a lot of value that a team can get from being together in the same room. I think a lot of people are just collecting remote jobs. They might have 3 or 4 and just try to juggle them until they get caught. And then when they get fired, they're still double dipping on income and not actually working. It's one thing if someone has a second job and they fulfill their responsibilities in both. If someone says, hey, Keenan, I'm gonna be working from 9 to 5 today, and then it turns out that they're doing that for 2 different places from 9 to 5, then they're not contributing to the business at the level that our other team members are. This has happened before, and we've had to let people go for that reason. Let's summarize this video. A resume is your marketing tool. If you're applying, especially to a marketing company, consider it as your marketing pitch. Tell your story. In a story, every hero has skills. They have something to offer the world that helps them overcome challenges. Take an extra 5 minutes to check your spelling. Have someone look it over. If necessary, you can find resume design services that will design your resume for $100 and make it look awesome. Once you land the job that you love, that $100 becomes insignificant. I want people to build a career with us. It keeps me up at night thinking about the highly skilled, motivated, and passionate people like you out there who maybe just don't have a resume that is standing out enough, or people that aren't marketing themselves in a way that gets us to notice them. Don't be afraid to put your resume out there for businesses that you really want to work with. If you're passionate and smart, businesses would be lucky to have you. You just need to put yourself out there. Many people ask me, they say, I don't have any relevant work experience. I don't care if you have marketing experience. What I care about is whether you are passionate, intelligent, a good communicator that I can tolerate being around for 8 hours or more a day. That's what I care about. I want to build a team of business builders who want to do business differently and enjoy the game that business is. If you want to gain more knowledge about digital marketing, learn about my journey as the owner of a marketing business, or want to develop the ability to run your own business, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and be sure to ask any questions you want in the comment section below. See you in the next video. Let's grow businesses together.